What does that mean?
Yeah. Welcome to Atlanta. Hammers and bows, back to the mackin' and the clothes. Adolescents packing a knock on the door. Who is it? I would happen to know the one with the flow. Who did it? It was me, I suppose. JD in the rolls and looters in the cut supreme. Skating down old Nat, tucked and lean. His spleen, as a matter of fact, I team. No blood on the sneaks, gotta keep it so my kicks is clean. I get the cream, cops see me flick my beams. I'm allergic to doc prescribed antihistamines. Oink, oink, pig, pig, do away with the pork. Only silverware needs a steak knife and a fork. Did you forget your manners? I'm Bruce with banners. Ludacris, Johnny Rockets when I the cannon. The woolly mammoth, saber tooth. Bite your tongue, I won't stop until I'm rich as them whites will come. I pull up in a black Lotus, your plaques are bogus. So I stripped them off the wall, waiting for my cue to corner pocket 8 balls. You racking them up, I'm big paper like pancakes, stacking them up. In fact, I'm slapping them up. Cadillac is a truck, I can't lose with 22s. That's what's up. Running in the back, the better than the aqueduct. Chilling in the wood.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Now the party don't start till I walk in, and I usually don't leave until the thing ends. But in the meantime, in between time, you work your thing, I work mine. I've been putting it down here since 83, since the Lake Show MD rivalry, when Frozen Paradise was the place to be. If you was riding, you was bumping the homie Shy D. I'm the MVP, most ballin'est player. Make my own rules, call me the mayor. Monday night, Gentlemen's Club. Tuesday night, I'm up in the Velvet Room getting up. Wednesday, I'm at Strokers on lean. Thursday, jump clean, then I fall up in cream. Friday, Shark Bar Kaya with Frank Ski. Right on the flow is where you can find me. Saturday is off the Heezy for Sheezy. You can find me up in one Tweezy. Sunday is when I get my sleep in, cause on Monday we be at it again. Holla. Yo, 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 Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
All right, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? We just do this thing. All right, we got C-Dong on here. We might not be able to see his video tonight, but we will be doing this thing. What's going on, C-Dog?
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I
Don't
appreciate
be.
you.
You
laughing.
actually have an excuse tonight. So if people don't know, the show is, Pigskin Pete can't do the show, then C-Dog's supposed to do the show. Basically, this show's been a game of hot potato that's just been passed around like an old hooker at Claremont Lounge. But today is C-Dog's birthday. Happy birthday. Can I sing you a happy birthday?
Yeah, I would love that. Thanks.
I've been working on it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to C-Dog. Happy birthday to you. All right, C-Dog. Copyright strike
Thanks.
incoming. That's all. That was what they call a cappella, fellas. All right.
I appreciate it, man. I just got out of dinner with like my wife, my Cody and Katie and Cameron were there, and then my mom and my siblings were there.
Right.
And my mom and then Cody and Katie couldn't get there till 6:30. It was supposed to be 6, but everything got pushed back 30 minutes. So I was gonna be home at 8, but now I'm gonna be home at like 8:30. So
It's
sorry
all
about
good.
that.
It's all good.
But
In
I
fact,
appreciate you taking over last minute.
can you give me some props on how quick I didn't have anything set up for this, first of all. How quickly I threw this together. Can you give me some props?
Well, yeah, props to you. Good job. Although I don't know what you actually did. I just jumped on the StreamYard.
That's
Did you
disappointing. Anyways.
what is this? The ACC show? What is it?
This is what's great about Sea Dog. Leave it to Sea Dog to jump on a show that he doesn't even know what it is. No, this is the ACC show.
Okay.
Appreciate the $2 super chat from Zach Jones, who says, "Happy birthday, old fart." Do you want to tell people how old you are now?
I'm 28.
Dude, this is when it starts. This is when it starts going downhill. I'm telling you. Not
really?
downhill. This is when things are going to start changing for you, though. That you're going to start probably getting some gray hairs propping up, depending on your genetics. I don't know. You're going to start getting aches and pains that you don't know how they got there. You're going to start wearing old Bill Cosby sweaters. You're going to take open mouth, crusty naps in the middle of the day on your recliner. All of these things are going to happen.
Well, I've already got to the point to where I'm like, I'll get a random pain, and I'm like, I'm not going to the doctor. So I'm like, well, will this be the thing that finally kills me?
It could very well be. Who knows? You know, we all got to go sometime. In fact, in the chat, depending on how old you are, when did you feel like things started changing for you? What age did you say, man? Yeah, I don't know. Things started.
I noticed changes like right exactly when I turned 25. I noticed some changes.
Connor Rudolph says 30.
I want to say something too.
Okay, go ahead.
So, ever since I've been doing YouTube for this will be my 5th year. Georgia Tech has never won on my birthday, or the week of my birthday rather.
Things are looking good.
So yeah, so we had the Jeff Collins years. We never won during those years. Brent Key's interim year, it was the Virginia game. Was Zach Gibson when he what did he do? Run out of bounds on?
He ran out of bounds on the last play of the game when we were down 8 on he ran out of bounds of his own 45 or so.
I was in the north side stands for that game, and I went to that game on a Thursday night on my birthday, and I watched him go into the fetal position right in front of me. He was not sacked. He was about to be sacked, and he just goes into the fetal position.
Wow.
So that happened. The next year, we were playing Boston College, and that was the infamous chip game where I threw the chips in the tree, and my friend's wife came down.
Is she with you right now?
No, we were just eating dinner with her, and we were joking. We were laughing about it now. But at the time, she was so pissed at me for throwing the chips in the tree. And she came down on stream. It's still up. The stream's still up. You can go watch it. She came and yelled at me so bad. And then we just ended the stream. And then the next year, which was last year, Notre Dame, it was the Notre Dame game with Pyron getting the start. So, yeah, Jackets have let me down every year on my birthday. All I asked is for a win this weekend. That's all I asked for.
All right. Well, hopefully the Jackets can give you can make you a happy guy on your birthday here. Let me get Slim the link. So Slim just got done eating. I'm going to give him the link on Twitter. I think I follow him on Twitter. If I'm not, what am I doing?
Also, if my phone dies, then I'll have to wait till I get home to jump back on. I'm like 10 minutes from home.
Why should your phone be any different, you know?
Well, I also, maybe I asked for a Georgia Tech win on my birthday, but also maybe asked for patience for my tardiness and lack of general preparation.
All right.
Could you let it slide? Could you let it slide today?
Yeah, I can let it slide today. I am a dick, by the way. I said, hey, you have a perfect excuse, and then I go on to berate you about your tardiness. Like, I can't help it.
It's okay.
We're going to skip over the first game that was played. No, never mind. Because it was played on a Friday because Slim, we'll be looking for Slim to drop in the chat. Did you watch because we usually start off by going through last week's games, right? A lot of crazy things happened. Obviously, Miami lost. Virginia about lost to Washington State, who about beat Ole Miss, the week before that. Florida State did lose to Stanford. So last week was a crazy week of college football, especially in the ACC.
Yeah, dude, like I said, we keep avoiding these upsets. Like, everybody around the country is, getting upset. There's like only 6 undefeated teams left, and we just keep chugging, dude. It's great. And yeah, I said on the ACC show last week, I was like, hey, this game doesn't matter for Virginia at all. It's not oh, they're slim. Yeah, because I seem to remember these jokers on the ACC show being like, hey, I was like, yeah, look, this is not a freaking conference game for Virginia, so they could lose it, and it wouldn't matter at all. And they're like, they're not losing this game. What are you, crazy?
Well, I wasn't on the ACC show last week, numbnuts. I had to work late.
All right, hold on. Let's see
who was wrong so that I can know who to get on to.
I think so. Are we doing a Charlotte trip if Tech goes?
Appreciate the $5 from Joe. Sorry, real quick. He says KSU is a juggernaut? ? Can Florida now beat UGA? I think so. Are we doing a Charlotte trip if Tech goes? We'll have to see, but continue, guys. Sorry.
Well, he's going to have to find somebody else to brag to because I wasn't there for him to say I was right or wrong. So, yeah, I have an airtight alibi.
How do you feel, Slim? All right, this is the first game on the docket. Let me actually put a screen capture here. But Louisville beat you at home after you both come off of a bye. Miami and Louisville coming off of a bye, 24-21. Carson Beck throws 4 picks, technically 5 picks. What say you, Slim?
A couple of those I have to put on Beck. A couple of them I have to give Louisville credit. They came in with a game plan, and it really worked, of trying to bat down as many balls as they could that night. And a couple of those interceptions were off of tip balls at the line. I can't be too mad at Beck over those because I also think it would be taking credit away from Louisville for something they did well. But from the first quarter, just something seemed off with the offense to me.
Well, something seemed off, I think, just kind of generally. And, yeah, I do understand you saying, well, Louisville had time to prepare. But I guess my question to you would be, is this not an indictment on Mario Cristobal a little bit that you both had an extra week to prepare, and it seems like they just had the better game plan and better preparation?
A little bit, but also a little bit, and I mentioned this on the last ACC show that I was on. I want to see how Miami responds to, being big favorites in pretty much every game for the rest of the year. Me and you talked about that.
Yeah.
And, I think they had to come out and eat a slice of humble pie on that one. Something else I have to give Louisville credit for, and it, to your point on preparation, they used the time to see what Miami did well. And Miller Moss was getting the ball out of his hands as fast as he could to negate that Miami pass rush. That it was ineffective because he got the ball out so quick. They were getting through like they normally would, but he was getting the ball out in barely over 2 seconds.
Yeah, but he had to have someone open to throw it to. So, right? So there's 2 parts of that. Yes, he was getting the ball out quick. Also, but in my thinking, if you're getting the ball out quick, you're throwing a lot of slants. You're throwing a lot of flat. You're not throwing the ball downfield because you don't have time. It takes time to get the route
really
there.
Weren't. That numbers, I can't remember his name. That number 0, he was catching a lot of slants, a lot of crossing routes, and dude's fast.
Yeah,
dude has got some wheels when he has some ground to work with.
Sure. What I'm saying is you should be able to lock someone up at the line a little better to where, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't have as many targets to go to. I mean, that was probably what lost you the game.
Oh, yeah. I saw it when I saw, okay, they're exploiting the zone coverage, I'd have gone to press man at that point, and the defensive coordinator never did.
So Carson Beck, I'm looking at 25 of 35, 271 for interceptions. Now, a lot of criticism has been thrown at Beck after the game. Now, I didn't listen to the whole press conference. I'm not going to listen to all 7 minutes of Carson Beck or whatever, but a lot of people saying he threw his tight end under the bus. Do you think that's right? Is he correct in that?
I'll be honest, I haven't listened to a Miami press conference at all this year.
Okay, so basically, and you'll have to take my word for it, and I don't have a dog in the fight, but he said, yeah, on that play, I threw the ball to the right spot. The wide receiver ran the wrong route, or the tight end ran the wrong route, and, he wasn't in the right spot.
I mean, listen, there was one that was completely just overthrown. That's on Beck. There was one, the last one that ended up sealing the game. He underthrew it all day long. I know for a fact there was one tipped at the line. That's what led to an interception. I can't be too mad at him over that. That's just a good play by Louisville. And the other one that comes to the one that I can't remember the one off the top of my head that got reversed because of that. What I'll even say was a BS roughing the passer call.
Yeah, it's BS by our standards. It's honestly, and I hate Miami, but it's not BS by the standards for which they've called it. I mean, that's what they call. Now, is it soft?
Yeah, I just think it's a BS call. Yeah. The other one that sticks in my mind that I can't put on Carson Beck, just the receiver got beat. Like you let a corner undercut you and jump in front of you to get that ball.
Yeah.
I'm always of the opinion that when it comes to an interception like that, receivers play just as much of a factor, and you've got to help out your quarterback in that situation.
Sure. Now, I do kind of agree with this comment from Shoot'em 556. He says he could have just said there was miscommunication in the
and
post-game.
I think it was obvious that there was.
Yeah, but then he kind of he didn't by name call him out, but pretty much by name, by position called him out, and that didn't necessarily have to do that. But I mean, look.
I'll take your word that happened, and I don't agree with it. Listen, Beck, you were off. You had an off day. It is what it is. Like I'm not sure I'm angry that a quarterback has an off day, but at the end of the day, it's just an off day. Like whatever.
Now, I've been saying this for a minute. I know I said this well before this Miami win, that I think Jeff Brom's one of the more underrated, if not the most underrated coach in the country. What do you think about Jeff Brom as a coach?
I agree. I think Jeff Brom is a great coach. And I thought that when he was at Purdue as well.
He beat Ohio State when they had Urban Meyer, didn't he? Wasn't he the coach at Purdue when that happened?
He just beat them, absolutely skull drug them.
Yes, he did.
Like, that game was not even close.
He blew them out. The score looked reversed, like there was some kind of error, and they put the Ohio State score instead of the Purdue score.
Yeah. So, no, I'm of the same train of thought that Jeff Brom is a very, very good coach.
Now, this does make things, and if you guys can't hear Sea-Dog, that's because his phone died. But this does make things very interesting for the ACC race, because I started looking at the rules as to how tie breaks work. And just off the top of my head, it's a whole video that I plan to do soon. First, it goes by your conference winning percentage. In other words, your conference record. Then it goes to common opponents. And I think just common opponents will settle this. Then there's some other things like how good your wins are and et cetera. But
I think rankings is in there next, I think.
Yeah, there's like A, B, C, D, and E. I'd have to go look back at it. In fact, I sent it to Sea-Dog, so I actually can go back and look at that and tell you. It goes, let's see. So first, it's conference winning percentage. Then it's win percentage against common opponents. If there's still some discrepancy, because keep in mind, it's not just who is going to go to the ACC title game. It's also who's the home team. You have to decide that too.
Which to me is so dumb, because it's a neutral site game at the end of the day, unless you're talking about in North Carolina or NC State, like it's in
Yeah.
Charlotte.
But you'd still have to designate someone the home team. So I'm just saying that's one other thing you have to decide. The third criteria is winning percentage against common opponents based on their overall ranking, which I don't even think we'll get to that point. But what I'm saying is I wrote down everyone's wins, everyone's losses, and who everyone has left. Clemson doesn't have the easiest out, but they don't have the hardest one. Obviously, or not, did I say Clemson? I meant Miami. Miami, you've beat Pitt and you've beat Miami. The only bad thing for Miami is that you've only played. You've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 ACC games left. You got Boston College at Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson at SMU. I could see Clemson and at SMU maybe being a problem, but
we don't play Clemson.
Oh, I'm looking at Louisville's record. I'm looking. No, you have. That's the thing. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 remaining games left. You got Stanford at SMU, Syracuse, NC State, at Virginia Tech, at Pitt. And you might not be able to afford another loss, right? If you have 2 losses, depending on how things go, like it seems like you have to win out, and you have the most ACC games left of any team.
Yeah, because we've already had both of our bye weeks.
Because you lost to Louisville, but Virginia beat Louisville. So to go in over Virginia, I think you got to have 2 losses, or they've got to have 2 losses.
Yeah.
So
which we'll see how Virginia does down the stretch. I mean, we'll see how Miami does down the stretch. I mean, listen, I predict us to go 10-2. So obviously, I've got the games wrong because one of them I picked to be Notre Dame, and that didn't happen.
Right.
So, I mean, I could still get the record prediction right, and here's the thing. At the end of the day, ACC title game or not, I'm never going to come on here and cry about a 10-win season. That's not something I'm going to do.
No, I'm with you. I think it's just particularly for Miami because you have this monkey on your back of, I think, 1 ACC title appearance and 0 ACC title wins. You've just got that juju hanging over your head, and I'm sure you would love to get that off your back.
Oh, it'd be nice. Absolutely.
But yeah, so we'll see when Sea-Dog gets on. Now, you might not know this. I don't think you're in the stream. Another Friday night game. I streamed both these games back to back. North Carolina at Cal. Cal beats North Carolina 21-18. For anyone that didn't watch that game, it was the most boring, low skill level game I have ever. It looked like middle school football, and I'm not even trash talking these guys. It was so boring. You can go back and look at the stream. We started researching things we'd rather be doing than watching this game. We found out, go back and watch it. We found out that you can get penile implants covered by Medicare. We found out that there's alien abduction insurance, and I called the insurance company at 1:30 in the morning to get a quote for alien abduction insurance. This game was awful. North Carolina, by the way, should have won this game. They were about to go in for a go-ahead score. I don't know if it was a pass to the flats or something. The guy was going to walk into the end zone, and he gets it knocked out at the 1-inch line because he pulled up instead of running through the end zone. So the ball gets fumbled into the end zone and recovered by Cal. So now instead of Cal recovering it and being inside their own 5, they recover it and they're on their own 20. This is the worst coach team. This is worse coach almost. I'm almost willing to say than Jeff Collins' head coach teams. There is something bad wrong at North Carolina.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because as much as I like to trash Bill Belichick as much as the next guy, he's not a terrible football coach.
He might be now. I think you can say when he was coaching the Patriots, you could go on and say one of the best NFL coaches of all time. People are going to argue, well, the Tom Brady thing versus Tom Brady not being there. I'm willing to give him all that. What I can say is, it's almost exactly like the Florida State shit last year, where people were like, "Oh, all this off the field nonsense, it's not going to affect the field," and it did, and it still is. To this day. Same with North Carolina. You have all this Jordan Hudson nonsense that cannot help you in any way. It's a huge distraction. That Robert Torres releases this interview or this team meeting where she's taking charge. She's wearing the pants. Like, the man's been totally emasculated in front of the world. So, I guarantee you part of that being released is setting the stage for firing him for cause. They're going to try their best to get rid of Bill Belichick without paying him.
Hey,
Good luck.
C-Dog is back.
Yeah, this might be the first ACC show ever without Pete or C-Dog.
Yeah, it was about to be.
Hang on,
And the
I
ratings
gotta
were
pee.
going through the roof.
I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
Don't take your microphone with you, please.
This man came back.
My phone's on the charger, so I can't.
This man came back
Why
in
didn't you
to
just wait
say,
to come in until you peed?
yeah, I don't know, man. Don't try and make sense of that.
Don't ask me
no.
that type of shit, dude. Come on.
My apologies. Mea culpa, mea culpa.
Right. Also, not an answer to the question, but anyways. Yeah, so Cal beats North Carolina. North Carolina's still looking for their first Power 4 win. North Carolina, and we'll talk about Florida State, are going to be bad for the foreseeable future. This is not something that I think a single head coaching hire is going to fix. There's a systemic issue with both those schools.
Well, and I've said it since they did it. To me, the biggest mistake Florida State made is when they literally hired a booster to be the athletic director.
And that now they want him fired.
Well, yeah, of course.
Which he probably should, but it was y'all's idea. I said this in another video, like, I've never seen a team that embodies the stupidity of their own fan base quite like Florida State does. It's crazy.
Well, and I'll stand on this because I've said it before and I absolutely believe it. I don't think at the end of the day your athletic director makes that much of a difference.
Yeah,
because there are a plethora of examples, including Miami, where with no athletic director, coaches got hired. Like, a lot of this goes through the board of trustees or the president of the university, and the athletic director just rubber stamps it. At the end of the day, the athletic director's job is to raise money for the athletic department.
Maybe. I don't.
Are you guys talking about Florida?
We were talking about Florida
No.
State. Real quick, we got a $5 super chat from Zach Jones here. He says, your 70-some-year-old head coach has a girlfriend the age of some players. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Can you imagine being a player in that situation, watching a woman your age bossing your head coach? That's actually a really good point.
And trying to run team meetings.
Yeah, it's crazy. Don't overhype your Miami down bad, my friend. Yeah, we were just talking about them. We'll back up real quick and then keep going. C-Dog, you didn't get to talk about this Miami loss. What do you think about that? Make sense of all this.
And when after C-Dog's answer, I need a definition of how one loss on the season is down bad, please.
I'm just basing it on what I see from your fan base.
Well, what's down bad about it is that you're like, if you look at the top teams in the ACC, which we will look at the tiebreakers tonight, right, Rick?
We already kind of did cover that when your phone died.
You looked at the tiebreakers?
No, we talked a little bit about it. We talked about the rules. We talked about basically for Miami to get in over Virginia. Virginia is going to have 2 losses because of the way the tiebreakers work.
Yeah, because we don't play each other, yeah.
Now, what we didn't talk about is Pitt probably has the hardest out. They need to run the table too. They've got NC State at Stanford, which isn't the biggest deal, but then they've got at Georgia Tech, Miami to finish. They're going to lose one of those.
Even if they beat us, and they're ahead of us, they already have a conference loss. And
they do. They already have a conference loss to Louisville. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, if they, even if they were to beat us, they would in all likelihood, lose to Miami the next week, and then we would still be in over them.
Yeah, because we'd have the win over them. What would be interesting is if we lost to Pitt, which could very well happen as high as we are on Tech. I think Pitt's a good team.
That's what I was
Well,
saying.
and I've maintained this about my own team and other teams, and I'll throw Georgia Tech into this mix. You have to learn what it's like to win and be able to keep winning. Like you have teams, and I think Miami falls into this. We'll see if Georgia Tech falls into this. That can you keep it rolling when everybody's patting you on the back?
Yeah. I mean, we've
Yeah.
struggled to do that. We've been doing it this year, but that has been the issue.
Yeah,
Under Keith.
and Miami's clearly had that issue too, and which like I said, I brought up, and I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if that ends up being the only game we lose, okay,
I mean, the
we lost a
problem for
game to
Miami,
Louisville.
the problem for Miami is that you aren't going to get a shot at the ACC championship if everybody, like, even if Virginia loses a game, they're ahead of Louisville. Louisville's ahead of you. We're ahead of Virginia.
Well, and that's going to change week after week as more games are played.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, at the end of the year, if all the ACC teams, which is
If Dabo Swinney were to
in
leave
reality,
Clemson, could he be the kind of culture builder to save UNC? Or would it be a disaster? P.S. Thanks for showing love.
Yeah, we'll address
Who?
that in a second. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in the event that there's a bunch of one-loss teams at the end of the season, the problem for Miami is they're last in line for those one-loss teams. So they probably wouldn't get a shot at the championship game.
We are, but that's my point. We are at the moment. But okay, what if Louisville goes out and drops 2 more games, which they've been known to do under Jeff Brom?
Then
I mean,
Virginia,
they had to come from behind and beat Pitt. So that's why I say this is going to be evolving over the next 6 weeks.
Well, then Virginia and Georgia Tech would get in.
Yeah.
Okay. Once again, you're not taking into account if teams drop games. That's why I say, well, we still got 6 weeks to go.
Georgia Tech and Virginia are just not likely to lose 2 more games. I mean, Virginia could lose 2 games and then you'd be in, but Louisville would also have to lose another game.
Yeah, plus
you'd
you've
have to win
got
out.
100 different permutations of what if they lose to this team, this team, and this team. Real quick,
exactly.
Big Benny football, who has started a Georgia Tech YouTube channel. I saw it. Mojo actually sent me a text with his channel. He's doing great things. Go subscribe to him if you're not. I think it is Big Beanie Football. Says if Dabo Swinney were to leave Clemson, could he be the kind of culture builder to save UNC? No.
Dabo Swinney's not leaving Clemson.
No, but or would it be a disaster? P.S. Thanks for showing love. I'm not even throwing shade at Dabo. Dabo is a relic of the past somewhat. Like, if he's going to try and go to UNC and play the same old, we're not going to do NIL the way everyone else does it, we're not going to do the portal the way everyone else does it, then you're going to get similar results.
But Pete has expounded on that. Like, they are doing NIL like everybody else.
Not like everyone else. No, that they won't.
They really are, though. Like, that's the thing. They are. Like, they're not using the transfer portal like everybody else.
That is a Clemson expert on the panel.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. But, like, Cade Klubnik's getting like $3.5 million a year. They are doing NIL like everybody else.
But now Pete's in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're not going to pay someone out of high school the kind of money that other teams will.
Now no, they're not doing.
Right. So that's the point that I'm making. But do I think Dabo could go be this? I mean, I'd like to hear y'all's opinions too. Go to UNC and build them up? No, I don't. I don't think that.
Well, I don't think Dabo's leaving Clemson. Like, he's not going to walk away from that contract, and Clemson's not buying out that contract. So
yeah, I mean, it is a fantasy scenario. I mean, he would be the biggest buyout paid out by anyone. I think, what is it, 60-something million they would owe him. Plus, like I said before, UNC's problems are way deeper than just who they hire as their head coach.
They are.
I'll tell you what, we'll bring on Jolish here. Jolish, you said you had 2 games that you wanted to talk about. What 2 games did you want to talk about? We'll talk about them. Go ahead, sir. I can't hear you.
To talk about, well, not the previous week's games. This is upcoming, so I can hang out until we get to those.
All right, that'll work. We'll bring you back on. Anyways, let's march on down here. We talked about Louisville, Miami. I mean, we talked about North Carolina, Cal. I mean, just an absolute disaster of a game. Two of the worst teams in the conference. Now, Georgia Tech at Duke. Duke was a 2.5-point favorite. Then they were like a 1.5-point favorite, I think. Then they were a 3.5-point favorite before kick. So Duke was a favorite against a team in the top 15, which was kind of interesting. And I know why a lot of people were saying that. Duke has a top 10 passing attack in the country. This was a game where Duke did everything wrong that they could do. I mean, talking about shitting your pants there, they drive right down the field, and then they drive like 95 yards down the field like a hot knife through butter. Then they fumble the exchange 95 yards the other way. They do the exact same thing on the next drive, mess up a field goal with a bobbled snap. Not only did they bobble the field goal snap, the guy ran 30 yards backwards or whatever, which gave Tech good field position. They doinked another extra point. But to Tech's credit, they sleepwalk through the first half, and then Haynes King does Haynes King's things in the second half. I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
I mean, that game really was like Occam's razor for Duke. Anything that can go wrong will.
Their scoring efficiency had to be horrible in that game.
Their red zone offense is like bottom 10.
I mean, it's so bad. But, I mean, Duke's defense
that's a game I think would have
red.
been much closer if, like I said, luck didn't decide to take a shit on Duke that day.
Go ahead.
I saw a crazy stat, though. Well, yes, it could have been another Wake Forest situation, I think, where we're down, 2 or 3 scores at half. That would have been, we're lucky that wasn't the case since we had no offense.
I don't necessarily think it would have been that. What surprised me the most about that game was the amount of points that Georgia Tech put up. Like, at the very least, you expected more out of Manny Diaz's defense, because Duke's defense has been pretty good since he's been there. Like, you really couldn't knock it.
Not this year. It hasn't.
There's a stat since Manny Diaz has got there, Georgia Tech has outscored them. What was it, 31-7 in the fourth quarter of games?
I don't know what the stat is. First, as far as their defense looked good going into this game because they had just played Cal and Syracuse. So they held both of them to under 350 yards, one of them under 300 yards. They gave up 500-plus yards to NC State, though. They gave up a ton of yards to Illinois. They gave up a ton of yards to Tulane. So statistically, they were mid or near the bottom in every stat except, I think, sacks. And I don't want to admit that because it would be better for Tech had they had an elite defense. However, Tech did step up when they had to. They did make plays when they had to, and they won the game. I mean, that's the thing me and Cedar were talking about this team. Like, I have a ton of criticisms for Georgia Tech. Our own fan base gets super pissed off at us about it. But at the end of the day, they're finding ways to win games. So I'm happy.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of which, you mentioned this earlier. If your barometer for things is the Miami Hurricanes fan base, you're the issue.
Oh, well, but when you talk to people on the internet, like I get thrown in with every Georgia Tech fan that's ever said a dumb thing. So
believe me, I've been dealing with that shit for a long time with Miami fans. I'm just like, whoa, pump your brakes here, sunshine.
You mean like Touchdown Tim, who just put out an article that I've got to proofread, or not proofread. I got to pre-read to even see if I'm going to have to delete the stream later. But
you mean the horniest man on the internet?
I mean the guy that likes to do a lot, and I mean a lot of terrorism references. An uncomfortable amount, and we're all pretty happy-go-lucky guys here, but it's like, okay, dude, you got a little obsession with some of these guys here, but
just a little bit.
Anyway,
but that's actually, if there's a criticism of Manny Diaz's defense going back to this game, the one knock you can say on Manny is he has a tendency of being overly aggressive, and that can lead to big plays.
We got Pete in the chat. I think I probably made Pete mad. Please correct me where I was wrong.
No, it wasn't you. It was somebody in the chat.
What did they say?
They say the same. This is what the problem is with the NIL and Dabo thing.
Okay.
This gets regurgitated over and over again in the media and by people on YouTube or everywhere else, and people just take it at face value and believe it.
Yeah.
Look up the stats. Clemson is 7th in the country in what they pay in NIL. It's not the fact that they're not using NIL. The portal is the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now how they spend the NIL is different than most teams.
Mm-hmm.
So in the portal, if you have a blue chip player that's looking to transfer out of another school, he's shopping around saying, where can I go and get the most money? Well, Dabo, if he starts talking to Dabo about, I'll come to Clemson if you give me X amount of dollars, Dabo says, we're not talking about NIL at all until you come here. Where other schools will go ahead and make you an offer. Like, Nico is a perfect example of this with UCLA. When he left Tennessee, UCLA was like, all right, we'll give you this amount of money to come here. And Georgia Tech did it with an offensive lineman that Clemson was going after. Yeah. So I don't know. People just don't look it up or whatever. But that NIL is not the problem. I disagree with the way he uses NIL. But you've got 4 players on Clemson's team right now that are making over $1 million a year.
GT is a 2H team and they completely outplayed Duke in the 2H. Talent and coaching took over and Duke is lucky the game didn't end 27-10 in a blowout. King is inevitable.
Appreciate the $10 from Zach. We'll talk about that in a second. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, I was done.
Okay, so I wasn't 100% wrong then. Selfishly, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I mean, look, a lot of things get regurgitated about Tech that aren't true, and I get super pissed off about it, and I understand.
I'm not pissed about it. It's just I keep hearing it over and over and over again like it's true when people just don't know what they're talking about.
So why don't you spend NIL money though?
Why do you rush the field after losses?
Yeah.
Apparently they haven't done that this year yet.
Yeah, they don't want to get fined.
That's not what the internet said.
I heard Uncle Lou saying that they rushed the field after the SMU loss.
Yeah, Lou said that.
Like maybe 3 people. Well, again, Lou's another one out there spreading the NIL lie. So why would you believe him?
He's besmirching your good name. Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, but see, even Lou couldn't have a successful SEC show. So we're really going to listen to that guy?
Yeah, everyone wants to shit on the ACC. Look at what we're doing here. No one even knew that the show was going to be on this channel tonight. We got like 90 people in here.
I got a bone to pick with Sea-Dog here. By the way, happy birthday, Sea-Dog.
Thanks, Pete.
But so he texts me and he's like, since you can't do the show, I'm going to do it on my channel at 8. So I sent out a post sending everybody to Sea-Dog's channel at 8.
What are you getting a bunch of comments like, what the fuck, Pete? Why are you?
No, but now you're besmirching my good name.
Look,
now.
I'm sorry. We were at my birthday dinner and it ran long. Like some of the people couldn't show up until 6:30, but I thought I would be home sooner.
Hey, Dog.
So,
is it even really your birthday?
Okay. It's my birthday.
Yeah, is it really even your birthday?
I'm questioning a lot of shit right now.
Sea-Dog is now on the internet spreading fake news and disinformation.
Oh,
all I do is spit facts on the ACC show every week.
And you just spread fake news and disinformation about your location and the time at which you'll be at that location.
Yeah, okay. My football knowledge is correct, but my freaking timing and whatever is wrong.
We got someone else that just came on that has something to go ahead. What did you want to say to Sea-Dog?
You are fake news, sir. Go ahead. Can you stay?
Yeah, you're fake news, buddy. Sorry.
So Sea-Dog was late again. Shocker.
What an idiot you were for believing he'd be on here at 8. What were you thinking?
Well, shout out to you, Reg, for picking up the ball and taking it in the end zone for us.
I mean, Sea-Dog did hire the ACC show graphics guy that has been fired multiple times.
By the way, all of this more interesting than talking about Cal UNC. So that is a victory. What did you say? The truth of the matter is that Georgia Tech is a 2H team. I don't exactly know what that means.
Second half.
Yeah, I was curious about that as well.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely a second-half team, and they completely outplayed Duke in the second half. Talent and coaching took over, and Duke is lucky that the game didn't end 27-10 blowout. Yeah. If you're going to choose to play a half, make it the second, for sure.
I mean, is Georgia Tech really exponentially more talented than Duke? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, they probably are more talented, but I don't think it's some huge gap.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We're not just heads and shoulders more talented than Duke.
Yeah.
Probably
I think you probably are overall more talented, but to your point.
Maybe a letter grade.
But with that being said, Tech is undefeated. Tech in the driver's seat for the ACC right now. Now, I think that they could easily lose to Pitt, but as of today, Tech's in the driver's seat of the ACC and a 40% chance to make the playoffs. I did not think I'd be saying that, especially given where we were 3 years ago, but we'll keep moving through these games.
Now, is fucking Florida State like? I'm actually starting to feel bad for Florida State fans. I really am.
Fuck them. No.
Yeah, fuck them.
Okay, fuck 'em.
I think that's just because you are one.
No.
Well, you need them to
here,
be good.
C-Dog with a W. I'm not taking any lip out of you.
Like, Pete, I think we talked about. In fact, let's just go ahead and talk about FSU Stanford. Stanford's 3-4. They're 2-2 in the ACC after this win. Stanford also had the majority of their offensive skill position players were hurt. It's not like they were getting even Stanford's best, and Stanford's dog shit. However, it turns out Florida State is even more dog shit. I don't know what's wrong with Florida State. I have no idea, but there's something bad wrong with them. That's what Papa Rec used to say. Bad wrong.
Well, it's what I thought was going to happen is after a few losses, they've given up, just like they did last year.
100%.
Florida State they're infinitely better than Stanford, virtually every position. So this is just a give up mode for them. You got half that team is transfers, and they're already thinking about where they're going to transfer to next year.
I mean, we've all said it. It's like when you have a team of mercenaries, and to your point, they take a couple of losses, they're in give up mode, just collecting a paycheck.
Right.
I think it's even more than that, man. Like that institutionally, there is something wrong with them. Explain it, because even if you have a bunch of players that don't really care about the school, first of all, that's most teams. But this giving up at the first whiff of adversity to this degree is unique to Florida State. That is do you see other teams just roll over like this?
No. Did you see the press conference with the defensive coordinator for Florida State after the Stanford game?
No. Inform us.
It might have been today or whatever it was, but following the Stanford game. Somebody asked them, they were like, so, there's a lot of similarities between this Florida State and last year Florida State team with giving up. And he got mad and started saying, this is nothing like last year's team. These guys fighting to the whistle. And he got all mad. You have to go look it up. It's pretty funny. But to me,
brutal.
it looks like they've given up.
That's brutal.
Of course how can you deny that? I mean,
you don't lose to Stanford without giving up.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, we had to travel across the country with players that are 2 letter grades better at every position you brought over there. So I don't want to hear it. Oh, appreciate the 20 from Zach Jones. I'll wait till that gets read in a second. But there's our Florida State rant. Screw them. They deserve every bit of hate and vitriol they get. I mean, after how they cried. Another interesting one, and another team that's somewhat in the driver's seat, Virginia, close one with Washington State 22-20. Now, Virginia's got wins over Stanford, FSU, and Louisville. They've still got to play at UNC, at Cal, Wake, at Duke, and Virginia Tech. So, Wake could be tough for them. I think at Duke could be tough for them. Aside from that, they should be able to handle that. But did y'all watch any of this game?
I did not.
C-Dog,
I didn't either. I missed a lot of the games this weekend because I had to work. This was my weekend to work.
I watched some of it. C-Dog, you watched Washington State at Virginia, right?
I had it on, and I was like, they're.
Yeah, hold on one
give
second.
Duke DL. Everything else? GT has the better QB, RBs, OL, pound.
Linebackers. I think you broke the chat reader there. We've got better people at every position, basically. Georgia Tech also recruiting in the top 25 last year, and Duke was outside the top 30 in a close overall talent, but Georgia Tech has way better starting 22. Yeah, probably true. Appreciate the $20.
I mean, okay, but that's not taking transfers into account. And Manny Diaz is one of the best at the transfer portal. I got to give him that.
He did well in this last cycle.
So once again, yes, Georgia Tech's talented, but you're not head and shoulders better than Duke.
So
thank you for taking us in a circle.
Things are a lot easier or more parity. There's a lot more parity nowadays.
Yeah,
sure.
There is. So Washington State at Virginia. This game came down to a safety at the end of the day. Toward the end of the game, Virginia was able to get Washington State backed way up. I think they pinned them with a punt deep in their own end zone. I don't know if they pinned them with a punt or they went for it on fourth and didn't get it, but got a safety that ended up being what decided the game because I got possession of the ball back. Also, Washington State, like we said at the beginning of the show, gave Ole Miss a run for their money the week before. So I don't know what to think of that. Even had Virginia lost that game, it wouldn't have mattered, though. But I know Pete's high on Virginia right now, right?
I mean, I bought in. I don't think they're probably even the second or third best team in the ACC, but they're scrappy and they win all these close games. So eventually that luck will probably run out. I mean, I don't know. You just mentioned all those teams they're playing. I'm trying to think out of all those teams who they would lose to.
I think they have Duke and Wake Forest.
Those are the two most likely. They've got, again, at UNC, at Cal, Wake, at Duke, Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, Cal, and UNC are all complete garbage. I would be shocked if they lost to them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad we don't have to play Virginia, to be honest. Virginia is probably a team that.
Well, we'll play them in the ACC title game if I had to guess.
That would be awesome.
Even if they do drop one to say Duke or Wake Forest, they still will have the win over Louisville, so they'll get in over Louisville.
Yeah. Anything else to say about this game?
I mean, I could see Virginia probably losing one of those games. Which one, is a toss up. But if they go, man, it would be crazy if they went 11-1.
It would.
Oh, Wake Forest.
It would be 10, I guess it would be 10-2. They lost to NC State. So, but either way, that would be crazy.
It would be a one ACC loss though, which would still be crazy. Cue up the conspiracy nonsense with that if that were to happen too from fan bases. UConn beats Boston College. Now here's an interesting stat. Over the past 2 years, UConn has beat more ACC teams than Florida State. Let that sink in.
Wow.
UConn almost canceled their football program not long ago, I remember.
I thought they did for like a while.
Yeah.
I think that was like UAB or something. I don't know that UConn. I mean, UConn is as basketball school as it gets, though, particularly female basketball. But
I'm pretty sure they missed I think they missed one season, if I remember. I don't know.
You could be right. You could be right.
Yeah.
I think that was UAB that shut down for a season.
Not what I just said. Anyways, Boston College now 1-6. This is one of the bigger L's of my takes. I remember when we were doing preseason rankings saying I thought Boston College could be a sneaky team to be good this year, and I thought they would be better this year than they were last year. They're dog shit. They're 1-6.
I thought they were not bad after watching them play against Michigan State. I was like, man, I mean, that was a competitive game.
But
maybe
Michigan State's dog shit. Michigan State's bad.
Yeah.
Well, that would also take me sitting down and looking at, has Boston College had some key injuries that just derailed their offense?
I don't know, but does that justify losing to UConn?
Bill O'Brien said he doesn't know what's wrong, so he doesn't know how to fix it.
Damn,
are you serious?
That sounds like something I would say at work. Guys, I have no idea
what's even worse
on.
is he said that.
Yeah, you don't have to admit that you're
That's
an idiot.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's like
I gotta find that quote. That's funny.
Yeah, it is great.
That's like Alex Jones coming out on Joe Rogan and saying, I think I might be retarded. That's the equivalent of that. So anyways, Boston College down bad. I'll let Pete take the lead on this one. SMU beats Clemson at home, 35-24. I didn't watch any of this game, so I don't know. It looks like Vizina threw for a ton of yards, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, threw 42 times, 29 completions. What happened here with SMU, Pete?
Well, just another. This was the worst game all year by a long shot by Clemson's defense, and Vizina played better than Klubnik's played all year. Like you just mentioned his stats. The problem is Clemson still refuses to run the football. The leading rusher was Christopher Vizina, and he's not Lamar Jackson. He's actually a worse runner than Klubnik, if that's even possible.
What?
So, yeah, I mean the offensive line play was terrible. The play calling was terrible. The defense was, I mean, just off the charts bad this game. And I'm starting to see what we were just talking about with Florida State a little bit with Clemson is I think they're starting to give up too, and that's not a good thing. I haven't seen that happen ever under a Dabo Swinney team, and we've seen some bad teams in the past few years, but not this bad.
Yeah, Clemson's supposed to be immune to that. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Why was Klubnik out of the game?
Was hurt, wasn't he?
He had a sprained ankle.
So Pete, wasn't this the like long ass time between now and the last time that your freaking quarterback missed a game due to injury?
Say that again.
So apparently before this, I heard somebody say like the last time like Clemson had a quarterback out for a game due to injury was like back in the Deshaun Watson years, like or before that.
It would have been Kelly Bryant, probably.
Yeah.
So 2017.
That's a long time to go without a quarterback missing a game.
That was pre-Trevor Lawrence, right? That was
the
guy.
Nice.
He was on the same roster.
Yeah, because the only game Trevor Lawrence missed was due to COVID.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Kelly Bryant missed one game in 2017. That's the only year he started at quarterback.
I see.
For the entire season, yeah.
So I'll ask you this: like, is this a fix you can make in an off season with Clemson? Do you think, or is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to depend on. I expect a lot of players to transfer.
Yeah.
This year, and I think Dabo is going to be forced to go into the portal. The problem is what we talked about earlier with getting players out of the portal is how you approach doing that. Are you going to have to offer these guys some money? Otherwise, no one's going to come there.
He's going to have to change his whole philosophy.
Yeah, but Dabo continues to say the same thing. You know, even after the loss to SMU, he's like, well, you know, I mean, the process still works. Look at all the games we've won since we've been here. And meanwhile, he's been there for almost 20 fucking years.
Right.
So I mean, 10 years ago is irrelevant to now.
He might just go down that hill.
It was interesting though. Tom Allen talking about the defense, he kind of threw the Clemson, the former, the current Clemson coaching staff under the bus. He's like, I like guys that have speed. I like guys that have long arms. And that's not what we have here right now. And that's what we're going to be looking for in the offseason. So he's basically saying I don't have the players on defense that I would recruit or get out of the portal. But that's going to change. So we'll see if they do that.
So he really threw shade at Dabo.
Damn.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and Wes Goodwin, the previous coordinator.
That's
Carson Beck
crazy.
threw some freaking shade at his own receiver too.
That's wholly different than a coach saying something derogatory about the head coach. I imagine that's being addressed behind the scenes now, and he's not wrong, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Tom Allen doesn't just need to bring his type of players in there for the type of defense he wants to run. He needs to bring the type of coaches in there that he wants to coach with. And so when he came from Penn State, there was zero coaching hires that Tom Allen made on the defensive side of the football. It was all of Dabo's guys that were already there were still there. He didn't make a single positions coach firing in the offseason. So it was the same position coach, it's just a new coordinator.
Do you so last thing before we move on, because it seems like Dabo's going to be forced to do something. Like this is boiling up to an explosion. Like something's going to have to give with this, with Dabo, and then letting people hire their own staff, hiring former players, changing how you offer NIL money to portal players. What is the end of that? I guess is Dabo still the coach, or is like how does that work?
Maybe he'll swallow his pride and change things. I think right now it's more of a game of chicken. He's like, well, he's already said it. If you don't like how I do things, I'll go coach somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if they do want to fire him, he's like, all right, well, I dare you to pay me $60 million to go away. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I just don't think Dabo Swinney's the type of guy who's going to change his philosophy. I think he's dug in. He's won so much that he feels entitled. He's getting paid a king's ransom to coach there. and he's going to do it his way or the highway. And it may end up being the highway, but Clemson can't afford to pay that kind of money. They don't have the amount of money that Tennessee and Texas A&M and Georgia and Alabama have. So,
Well,
I don't.
yeah.
I mean, if we have another season next year, like we had this year, then I think their hand will be forced and they'll pay whatever the buyout is. But let's say he goes out there next year and wins 9 or 10 games, but they still don't look great. They still don't win the ACC. They still don't make the playoffs. Then they're sort of between a rock and the hard place.
How many games do you think he'll win this year, Pete?
Oh God,
he's sitting at 3-4.
They're going to struggle to win 6, I think.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad, especially for Clemson.
Yeah.
It would be his second worst record since he took over the job in 2008.
Dang. Do y'all remember when Iowa Kirk Ferentz had hired his son, and he was the worst freaking coordinator of all time, and Iowa basically forced him into a contract where they were like, you have to score like at least 20 points a game. Or whatever.
What a vote of confidence.
Maybe Clemson should do that with Dad, but you have to take at least 5 portal players per off season.
Well, he'd have to agree to it. You'd have to redo his contract, and he would have to agree to that.
Yeah, he would not agree to that.
I'm just making a joke.
Yeah.
That's what you need. The plan you need to put him on.
All right. Do we have anything to say about Pitt at Syracuse? I mean, Pitt, like I said, I think has the toughest out to make it because they have NC State and Stanford, but they finish with at Georgia Tech and Miami. But
SMU has a tough out too because they're only 1 loss too. There's a ton of 1-loss teams right now.
Yeah,
SMU's got to play Louisville, Duke, and Miami still. They're not going to be in the running.
They've got at Wake, Miami, at Boston College, at Louisville, at Cal. They haven't played a ton, but yeah, I mean, Pitt gets a win over Syracuse. Tech has Syracuse this week. We'll talk about it. But, I mean, there's not much to say about beating up on Syracuse right now. All right, we'll look at next week's games. We're kind of running.
We're about to beat up on them. It's going to be great.
Make sure I'm looking at this right. Yeah, I am.
Hey, guys, I gotta run. Repeat needs my attention. His mom's not here, so I got to play Dad real quick.
Hey, no problem, man. Appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah, Pete.
All right, thanks for doing the show.
No problem, buddy.
No problem, Pete.
All right, we'll bring in Jolis. Jolis, what was the 2 games you wanted to talk about?
My 2 games were going to be Stanford, Miami, and I guess Wake Forest, SMU.
So let's talk about Stanford, Miami. Do you think there's some crazy 2 Florida team upset coming?
I think, and this is no disrespect to you, Slim, but everything we said about FSU kind of collapsing when they're starting to see things not work, I don't think that's the case because Miami's season is still in front of them. However, I do think that with Miami, I think if you've got a quarterback who's throwing his own players and teammates under the bus, it just starts to worry me that perhaps not. There are some games that may not be a given, and I think this Stanford game might be one to watch out for.
So it's at Miami. First of all, Miami's a 29.5-point favorite in this game. Over/under's 45.5. I mean, Slim would agree that Miami could stumble here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's against Stanford, not even a little bit. But go ahead, Slim.
I would be way more worried about SMU than I am Stanford.
I mean, if Miami were to lose to Stanford, then there's something bad. That would mean Carson Beck to probably throw 6 picks or something against Stanford. I mean,
dude, he could probably throw 8 interceptions and we still win that game more than likely.
Carson Beck, like in Georgia, though, at least he would have a few bad games a year, but he didn't, spiral and have them like a bunch of times. He would spiral within one game, but not multiple in a row.
Yeah, well, and actually, no, he did. He had it was 3 games in a row where he threw 4 picks. And that's where basically all of his interceptions came from last year.
And then he got over it.
Yeah, so plus Stanford is not going to be able to stifle our run game like Louisville did. They don't have those guys.
Well, again,
I don't think Miami's down bad as FSU is either. Like they're not just going to give up.
I said this earlier. Somebody, and I don't know who it was because I've forgotten now. But Rec was reading a comment basically saying I'm full of shit and Miami's down bad.
I love that comment.
Yeah, I don't think, once again, one loss does not equal down bad for anybody, in my opinion.
Well, it's a testament to Cristobal that he's elevated your talent pool. You seem to be a pube hair away from getting that monkey off your back, and then you get a setback. Now, is that fair to hold you to that standard? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Because I predicted us to have an ACC loss this year. Like, I didn't predict us to go undefeated.
Yeah. But people's expectations obviously change throughout the season. Like, no one expects Florida State to do shit now. They did after they beat Alabama. It just is what it is.
And I completely agree with that. But once again, like, I never pick any team, regardless of how good they are, to go undefeated because of how hard it is to do.
Sure. Maybe we'll amend this take, Joelis, to Miami doesn't cover the 29.5. Maybe there's a scary, maybe it's tied after the first and Miami pulls away. What was the other game you wanted to talk about?
The other game is Wake Forest and SMU. I think
that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think reasonable minds are saying, oh, like SMU has a path to the ACC championship, blah, blah, blah. Wake Forest only has one less loss, I think, than SMU. So I think, and a lot of people kind of typically think, oh, it's Wake Forest. Okay, whatever, it's Wake Forest. This is a tough Wake Forest team. It's at Wake Forest. I actually kind of like Wake Forest to win this one over SMU, and I don't know what that means for like the ACC conference championship, like, picture, but I actually kind of like Wake Forest to win this one over SMU.
Well,
I can actually chime in. I was looking at.
Are you a Georgia Tech fan, Joelish?
Yes, he is. Of course he is.
Of course I am.
Well, but before anyone says anything,
wait a minute, because Sea Dog's pulling the same crap.
It's not just Sea Dog.
Wake Forest is a tough out for somebody.
What's the line on this game, you think?
They're 4-2. They're 4-2 right now.
You actually look at these two teams stylistically. That's why Wake Forest was able to give Georgia Tech a scare. With the kind of offense that SMU runs, they might hang half 100 on them.
Right. What do you think the line is on this game?
I haven't the first clue. I haven't looked at it.
It's 3.5 SMU. Minus 3.5.
Dang.
I don't like it. I would honestly take SMU in the points all day.
Well, I'm just saying that tells you that the guy's not way off base with what he's saying.
And I am looking, me personally, this looks like a stylistic mismatch. Not saying one team is more talented than the other, but I think the style of football that Georgia Tech plays lends itself to what Wake Forest does. I don't think that's the case with SMU.
You could be right. You could very well be right. SMU might dog walk them. Sea-Dog, you were wanting to say something. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, just in general about SMU, I was looking at their schedule earlier, and even if obviously if they lose to Wake Forest, like they're not going to the ACC championship, but they're not making it to the ACC championship. They got to play Louisville and Miami and Duke.
Yeah,
like they're not making it.
They don't play Duke, so SMU's already beat Syracuse, Stanford, at Clemson, which are not the best teams in the ACC. They've got at Wake, which we're talking about. Miami, they get at home. At BC, they also get Louisville at home, and at Cal. But they probably lose to both Miami and Louisville.
Yeah,
but I do think they could beat SMU. I do. I don't think that's the craziest take.
I would say whichever one was at home for this one, I would end up probably going with. But I just feel like maybe these teams are closer than what most people think they are. I think a lot of people think Wake Forest is bad, SMU is good, and I think they're probably closer than people think.
Well, and once again, I'm not even disagreeing with that point. Like I said, I just think it's a stylistic mismatch with these two.
Okay, that's fine.
Now, with that being said, I kind of hope you're right, because one game that I had circled would be the next week when Miami has to go to Dallas. That was a game that I was the least confident about that I picked us to win.
Okay. Yeah, so that would tell you you're probably right with that. Well, I appreciate it, Joelish. I appreciate you coming in here talking shop with us. we'll roll through the rest of these games. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right. So we do have a Friday night game, 7:30, Cal at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech early spread here.
Oh, my God.
-4.5. I think Virginia Tech beats them and covers. What do y'all think?
I'd rather shove a fork in my ear than freaking watch this game.
I'll be streaming it. It's in Blacksburg.
Give me Cal, dude. Virginia Tech's terrible.
Oh, you're wrong. You didn't watch Cal last week, sir.
I watched Virginia Tech.
Yeah, only Wreck and about 12 other people subjected themselves to that.
No, I'm not even lying. I think there was more people watching my stream not watching the game than were actually watching the game. I'm almost certain of that. It was bad. I think like Cal is a turnover machine. Cal can't get out of their own way unless they're playing dumbass Belichick. I think Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, I think you'd be crazy to pick Cal here.
Doesn't freaking matter. Blacksburg is a joke.
Now, you can get tickets as low as $6 to this game.
You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me to go to that freaking game. God,
let me get.
There costs more than a ticket.
Yes. So Sagapalooty Tootie, the quarterback for Cal, and that is the correct pronunciation. 1,696 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Turnover machine. So let's move on. Syracuse at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech cracks the top 10 for the first time, I think, since 2009. And the first time starting 7-0, I think, post-segregation. Is that right, C-Dog?
We didn't get top 10 in 2014?
We might have. I'd have to think. Maybe regular season top 10.
We finished top 10 surely that year.
I think we finished
won the
top
Orange
10.
Bowl.
I think we finished top 10. Either way, It's been a minute. Georgia Tech, a 17.5-point favorite in this game. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Georgia Tech wins. I think Georgia Tech covers. I think Syracuse is a horribly flawed team right now, especially with Angeli out.
Frank Clown is going down.
Syracuse without Angeli is a completely, at least offensively, is a completely different team.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. This is also a grudge match. Like, I do think Fran Brown's a pretty good coach. I also think he's a pretty silly person. Like, there was a whole thing on Twitter about people taking him out of context and like, oh, he wasn't saying that about Brent Key. But it's fair because there's nothing stupid enough that Fran Brown won't make a deal of. Like, the man says he doesn't take showers. He's about to be a stinky bitch for the 4th week in a row. Anything else y'all got on this game?
Prayers up for Fran Brown's wife. Like, I'm not the praying type, but I may pray for her.
Yeah, I don't take showers after games, man. Showers are for winners. No, they're not. They're for everyone. Maybe they didn't tell you that. And
Showers are disrespectful.
Why'd you make
sometimes multiple a day? Like, I'm not even going to hate on you for taking 2-3 showers a day.
Why did you make him sound like Michael Jackson? Stop.
I don't know.
You're ignorant.
You started doing it. No, that's ignorant. But
no, he speaks like he's going into respiratory failure a lot of times. I mean, they came out there, they was playing tubas and shit, man. That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? We trying to kick field goals, you playing tubas? That's how he talks. All right.
Thank you.
We're a clown show. We're calling Fran Brown a clown and making clowns of ourselves. Virginia at North Carolina. This is a noon game on the ACC network. Virginia, 10.5-point favorite. Does anyone think that Virginia doesn't dog walk the shit out of North Carolina in this game?
Easy win.
That they absolutely should, but I'll throw Virginia in there. Can they handle success?
They have thus far. Appreciate the $5.
It's UNC, dude.
They don't.
Yeah, but they probably will lose another game.
We could put the Slob football team together and beat UNC.
That would be hilarious for the right to take home Jordan. All right, got another super chat. What you got?
Collins is awful. He's had 6 picks in the last 2 games and 8 picks in 5 games. GT blows out Q's and has at least 3 twos.
I don't know that I didn't know that. So Ricky Collins, a Syracuse quarterback, has thrown for 6 picks in the last 2 games. I'm not smart. I think that's 3 picks a game. Not good. Yeah, we could do with the Slobs could take on North Carolina for the right to take home Jordan Hudson, I think.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Shoot, motherfucker.
You know I love crazy women, so that would be that's just my game.
No.
That's just my game.
WreckTalk. Hey, Wreck might even she may become the next ex Mrs. WreckTalk.
Yeah. These ex-Recs just keep multiplying on my ass. I don't know what's happening. It's crazy. We already talked about SMU at Wake. NC State at Pitt, I think, could also be an interesting game. NC State's 4-3, 1-2 in the ACC. I don't have NC State on my sheet. I'm trying to think of who they lost to. No, they beat Virginia, even though that doesn't count. Who have they lost to?
Yeah,
NC State.
That's somehow a non.
They lost to Duke. I know that.
I'll tell you, they lost to Duke, Virginia Tech, and Notre Dame.
Bruh, how do you lose to Virginia Tech?
I'll give
man,
you Notre Dame loss. Like, okay, Notre Dame's a pretty good team. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, that kind of changes. That kind of colors how I think about this game differently. Yeah, Pitt. I'd pick Pitt. I don't know if they'll cover, but I think Pitt wins this game. C.J. Bailey looks like he's thrown for 1,846 yards, 14 touchdowns, but also 7 picks. That freshman phenom for Pitt's looked really good. Pitt has the ability to hit explosive plays at any time with that kid throwing the ball. I'd say give me Pitt.
Yeah. How has Doran not been fired yet? Ugh.
I don't know, man. I wish Pete was still on here to talk about this game, though. I know he loves NC State.
I can imagine a Pitt by 1,000,000. Yeah, they're gonna donkey stomp freaking NC State. And Dave Doran is a terrible person and coach. He hates Down syndrome people.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The whole.
We need to make a bet with Pete. If NC State wins that game, he has to howl like a wolf on the next ACC show. He doesn't realize it, but he agreed.
Wolf fact.
All right, last game on the slate, Boston College at Louisville. Louisville's a 25.5-point favorite. Does anyone not think Louisville beats the will to live out of Boston College at home?
The will to live's already been beaten out of them.
Yeah, it's true. It's already dead.
Here's my problem with Louisville, though. Like, they will look completely beatable one week and look like a juggernaut the next. Like, that's one knock you can have about Braum since they've been there is inconsistency during the season.
But have they dropped a bad loss like Tech has to Bowling Green or something in previous years? Like,
no, they have not. I'll give them. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And that would be the equivalent of losing to Boston College. So looking ahead at Louisville, what does Louisville have left? Louisville has beat Pitt and Miami. They have the best resume in the ACC right now by a long shot. They lost to Virginia, though, so that's a ding on their resume. But their loss is to one of the teams in the hunt. They've got Boston College, obviously, left at Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson, and at SMU. So, they're squarely in the hunt as well. All right. Slim, give me a lock of the week before we get out of here and Dog.
I'm going to go opposite of Joelish. Miami's not stumbling against Stanford.
Well,
stop it.
You got. Do they cover 29.5?
29.5 is insane.
It's a lot of points.
29.5 is kind of insane.
I mean, a lock. You can't have a lock of the week be a heavy favorited money line.
That's true. I guess I was just kind of picking on Joelish.
Yes, quit that.
Yeah.
If you're so confident about Wake Forest, why don't you pick SMU as your lock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 3.5 points. I gotta win by.
Lock it in, Slim.
All right, let's do it. Just so I can come on here and tell you how wrong you are.
Yeah. I'll see you next week when my Wake Forest Demon Deacons take freaking SMU to Pound Town.
Can you make your locks be opposing sides of the spread, please? C-Dog, give me your lock of the week.
My lock of the week. Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Kick the shit out of SMU.
I love it. My lock of the week is Virginia covering 10.5 against the Blue Chew Bills. That's my lock of the week. All right.
I like that one too. I'm
Slim,
not even gonna lie.
yeah, that's a good one. I know. Wreck knows ball. Well, Slim, I appreciate you coming on. Oh, are you off this weekend? Do you get to watch football this weekend?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be off, but circumstances I may not be.
Who did this to you? Does the motherless son of a bitch have a name? Can I talk to him?
Yeah, well, no, it really is circumstances because
I got you.
one person had a knee replacement. Can't really get too mad about that. I can get mad at the guy that got suspended, I guess.
Yeah. Let's be mad at him. Let's call him Jeff. Screw Jeff.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think that's his middle name now that you mention it.
Also, yeah, I didn't tell you this. I went to psychic school over the weekend. I can predict. The
Oh,
future
really? Does it come with its own 900 number like Miss Cleo?
Yes, and I throw out a bunch of letters, and you make sense of them. It's pretty sweet. All right, appreciate it, Slim.
Yes, sir.
Sea-Dog, we've recovered. Great show. Had over 100 people in here at one point. Talked about all the games last week and this week. What do you got coming up? Don't you have something special coming up? I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a little something out for the Syracuse game out tomorrow or Thursday is my goal.
Sweet.
Nothing crazy, but perhaps a appetizer of what is more to come.
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah.
Will you be streaming the Syracuse game? I'll be at the game, so.
If I'm home, yeah, I'll stream it. Yeah.
Awesome. Again, happy birthday to Sea-Dog.
Thanks.
Add a way to make another trip around the sun. And I appreciate everyone coming in. We had a good show. Appreciate all the super chats. Thanks for everyone for showing up. Appreciate Joe Lich coming in, talking shop. And hell, we will. How do I get this off my screen? Hold on one second. We will see you guys next time. Y'all have a great night.